Okay, we're back for the second unit. Welcome back. Hopefully your first month was fantastic. Let's go ahead and talk about narratives. So we're going to talk a little bit about what this unit looks like. We're going to have that beginning letter there. Nothing really big difference as far as how the mini lessons are going to go. The big change for this particular unit is that we're going to start working in books. So students are going to be working on writing across pages, and so each of these lessons are going to kind of guide you through that. This is same as in that first unit, so you can go ahead and look over. If you haven't looked at it yet, go ahead and make sure you look it over. But again, this is going to be about student choice, so we want to keep that student choice available to students. These routines are going to be the same. We're going to keep students with a mini lesson about 10 minutes. At this point, you should be able to have students sitting attentively for 10 minutes. Status of the class, you may be ready to start to phase that out. Writing time should be up at 20 minutes at this point. Sharing is where now you're going to start really doing that conferring work. So the students that you confer with will share in front of the class. And then as soon as they're done, then students will turn to each other, to their partner, and share with each other. So that's how sharing time is going to be a little bit different. Materials, same things going on here. Modeled writing, we have different mentor texts that we're going to be using. So there's a couple suggestions there for you. And again, make sure that you're doing that. Lots and lots of modeled writing. Writing goals, you're going to want to swap that out this month for the new goals. And this has remained unchanged. Writing continuum. This is a great reminder that if you have a student who's moved in, grab a writing sample. Otherwise, if you haven't already grabbed samples for your whole class, grab them now. Hopefully you did that at the beginning of the year. That will really help you see better growth. Here is an overview of your month. So again, 20 lesson instructional days, so 4 weeks. And this is again where we start making books. You're going to start with a pre-made book. So look in the writing papers. It'll share with you kind of how that works. There'll be a cover, and typically I would have 3 or 4 pages stapled to the back of it. And students might need more paper, so they can add more, or they might need to remove paper. But I usually start with about 3 or 4 pages behind there so that they're going to be practicing writing across pages. And so the way that I model that is when I tell them that today I'm going to start a new book, boys and girls. I'm going to write this story about me going to visit my sister in California. And so I start with a blank book, and I tell the story first, make sure that they understand the story, and then I plan out the pages by touching each page. So on this page, I'm going to write this, turn the page. On this page, I'm going to write this, turn the page. On this page, I'm going to write this, right? So I kind of plan it out. So I make sure I have a beginning, middle, and end, right? Lots of stuff in the middle. As soon as I get to the end, I'm like, okay, what was I going to write on this page? And they're like, you're going to write about, that's right. So I start drawing and I start to write, okay? At this point, I don't spend as much time on coloring because students are pretty good about coloring. So I usually just do a quick sketch and I spend most of my time on the words, right? The next day I'm going to open up my book. I'm like, okay, remember I was writing this book about California. What was I going to write about? Okay, on this page, I had this down. What was going to come next? No, they remember your story. You were going to write, that's right. And now you're going to go ahead and you're going to go and touch each page. Say, that's right. I'm just going to write about this on this page. And then on this page, I'm going to put that. And then on this page, I'm going to put that. So today I'm going to work on this page, right? What we're modeling is making sure that we've rechecked what we've already done and where we're going. And we're going to continue to model that with every single book that we write until the end of time. Because students will oftentimes pick it up and they'll just start writing. And so we don't want that to happen. So we want to make sure that we're modeling for them again and again to make sure we know where we are and where we're going. Where are we and where are we going? So that's what we're going to be modeling and spending a lot of time with this unit of study. What you're going to notice is some students are going to want to whip through books like crazy. So you're going to let that happen for a little bit, and then you're going to work on lessons of when do I know that I'm finished? And you may have some students who are really great about knowing that and other students who don't. So you'll want to make sure you let them know, hey, listen, I'm noticing that these students are doing a great job of knowing when they're done. So I put a little star on their folder, which means when they finish one piece, they can just go ahead and grab a new one and get started. If you don't have a star in your folder, it means you need to see me first, okay? And that usually will put the end to whipping through books like this, or just doing a few words on every page. They need to be writing 2 or 3 sentences on each page. When they're done with their story, they should have multiple pages, okay? Multiple paragraphs, rather, about one subject. Let's see. We're going to talk about planning things out with the story hand. I'm trying to think if there's any really big lessons. Again, we can move lessons around. So if you're like, you know what, I really need to do this lesson before I do that lesson, move it around. Just make sure that you slide it back in before, the whole month is over. Let me go ahead and go down to our last few pages that we have here. So on day 15 and day 16 and day 17 and day 18, you're going to have an opportunity to reteach. So look at the lessons from this month and say, you know what, I really need to reteach that or review those. So you'll go back and find a lesson to review it. You might even find something you needed from the first unit. So go ahead and grab that lesson and go ahead and teach that if you need to. So you'll have 4 days to do some reteaching and revisiting previous lessons. This is a chance for you to kind of spend a little bit more time with the skill when you're noticing your classroom needs it. So this allows you to have that flexibility. When we get to day 19 is when students are going to open up their writing folder. They're going to select one piece to take out to make better. Okay. You're going to model how maybe I'm writing about the trip to California and how I'm noticing that I could have added more details. So you're going to model how you go through and add to it or clarify or any of those types of lessons that you need to fix it up. You're noticing, hey, you know what? I wasn't really paying attention to periods and punctuation at the beginning, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's not about making it perfect, it's about making it better, so we're going to be fixing it up. So students will take, at the beginning of lesson 19, they'll take their writing folder, they'll take it to their desk, and they'll start going through it. They'll select one piece out, leave that on their desk, bring you the rest of the pieces, and they need to hand it to you in an organized way. Now, if your students are anything like mine, they'll hand you this wad of paper and they'll be upside down backwards. Don't take it. Just say no. Say, these need to all be in order. So not upside down backwards, not right. Get them all in order for me. It doesn't have to be in date order, but I should have all the covers, not upside down and backwards. Don't hand me a wad of paper. Get them all nice and neat. Bring them to me. And then I put the parent letter on top. And I had one of those big staplers, staple, send it home, okay? So they'll have on their desk the one they're going to publish. Everything else gets attached with a parent letter. I have them send it home. They're going to publish this piece that's in front of you, and we'll celebrate it the next day. Not in front of you, in front of them. They'll celebrate it the next day with a writing celebration. It can be big or little. There's a few ideas here. Don't make it into a big deal as far as, you want to make it a big deal in your class, but don't make it a lot of work for you. You've got enough stuff going on, right? Maybe you invite parents once or twice a year. Maybe you go and invite the assistant principal to join you. Maybe you invite the janitor to come. Maybe you invite the music teacher to come. Maybe you just keep it amongst your class. Maybe you bring in a class from across the hall that's doing it at the same time. Just don't make it so big that it's something that you put off because you got enough going on, right? So just a quick celebration, maybe bring in a plate of cookies and punch. Boom, done. Easy. Make it simple for yourself. Okay. So you're going to be doing this with every unit of study. At the last day, you're going to have a little celebration. They're going to have an opportunity to share with other students, somebody besides their writing partner, because they've been working with them. So have a chance to kind of rotate, see other students who can hear their work. And they have their one piece that's been published. I display that in the classroom. You can also display it in the hall, but I displayed it in the classroom, and it hangs there all month. So one of the questions that I often get is, if you're displaying it, does it have to be perfect? The answer that I have read is no. We do not need it to be perfect to be displayed. Spelling needs to be at the best of students' ability. Punctuation needs to be best of their ability. It needs to be at the best of their ability. It doesn't need to be perfect. I read an article by Tim Shanahan, who is kind of a leading expert when it comes to literacy and brain research and policy. And he said you can't edit a blank page. So if we expect perfection with every single unit, we're going to start to stifle students' writing. We have lots and lots of time in our instructional day to get perfect, right? When we're doing dictation in our core curriculum, we should be doing dictation every single day. So students are spelling words that they've been explicitly taught. They've been writing sentences where every word in there is a word that they've been explicitly taught, or they understand the phonics rules there. So dictation should be happening every day during your Science of Reading core curriculum, okay? That should be happening every day. Writing is a chance for them to be working on their composing skills, sending the message, where the conventions are really happening. More of that instruction is happening during your core curriculum time, okay? During your Science of Reading lessons, your phonics lessons, your sentence writing activities, right? This is really about composing. Okay. So at the end of this month, we're going to display a piece that they have published in the classroom. At the end of next unit, what they'll do, students will repeat the process. They'll go through their writing folder. They'll find one piece they want to publish. They'll leave it on the desk. They'll take all of their pieces that they decided not to publish. They'll get them in order for you. You'll staple it. They'll send it home. After the publishing is done, on day 20, on 19 they're doing that. On day 20, they'll take their published piece. They'll go and swap it for the one that was from unit 2. They'll bring you unit 2, and that can go into their writing folder. Does that make sense? So whatever there's published, once it's done displaying in the classroom, it's going to go into the student portfolio, right? So you'll be able to collect a piece every single month, so you'll be able to see their progress there as well. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. That is the end of unit 2. This is your narrative stories. So students should be writing personal narratives during this time. And I think that's it. I'll see you back for unit 3.